All right, guys, I think that is going to do it for the day three coverage. That's not to say day three is over. Far be it for me to declare anything over when there are still a lot of undrafted players out there, including some that I thought were quite desirable in the draft today. So things are going to continue to happen. But the Seahawks, John and Mike, are currently having their press conference after the draft, so I don't know if the Seahawks are going to be doing much of anything else right now. I think maybe they're satisfied with the state of UDFA. If the team is going to take further action in UDFA, then I guess somebody else is pulling the strings there, which that's possible, but it seems less likely to me if John and Mike are preoccupied. So it seems like we have our first wave of UDFAs. It's 7 guys, and then we had 3 camp invites. And obviously, the camp invites are the longest of the long shots. You're not even offering them a contract. You're just offering them the opportunity to show up and show what they can do and maybe latch on to a practice squad or something. But the UDFAs are actually really interesting. There are still some interesting players out there that I hope the Seahawks are at least looking at, if not trying to sign. But they have spent a lot of their budget already, in all likelihood, because a couple of the UDFAs they picked up are they were pricey. They cost a decent amount of guaranteed money, and there seems to be a clear level of interest in keeping them around once the season starts. So, the UDFAs we have so far, as of the recording of this video, we got 7 guys. I already talked about Westover and Caesar, but those are 2 really good pickups. Westover was kind of a given to me when we had Ryan Grubb. If he went undrafted, I figured we were probably going to end up with him in some way. And basically, immediately after the draft ended, we got word that we got Westover. So great pickup, no complaints there. I know we drafted Barner, but Westover could easily end up being tight end 4. We got, after that, Nelson Caesar, a guy who I thought was going to go in the 5th or 6th round. So that's a nice little pickup, the Houston edge rusher. He could make the team outright. If we cut Daryl Taylor and do nothing else to replace him, he could be an edge on this team. He might not play very much, but he could make the 53-man roster. I'm not ruling that out at all. So those were significant pickups. We had George Holani, the running back from Boise State, who I know we met with pre-draft. I don't know very much about him, but I do know there was a level of interest there, and we need running backs. We need another running back. We have 3 right now. It's possible Holani ends up being the 4th, especially because he's a guy we gave a decent amount of guaranteed to, supposedly. So I'm expecting there to be some degree of commitment to George Holani as a UDFA who makes the team, at the very least, as the 4th running back. We did pick up a quarterback, Siobhan Cordero, San Jose State. I don't know anything about him, but we did pick up a quarterback. It is the kind of quarterback that you would expect to find on a practice squad for any given particular team. So, assuming this team decides to carry 2 quarterbacks, then maybe he ends up being the practice squad guy. We do need one of those. I do think that every practice squad should have a quarterback on it. The big one to me, and the really interesting one, other than maybe Caesar, was Garret Greenfield, and he's a guy we gave almost 200,000 in guaranteed money to. So there's clearly some intention of having him stick around. But Greenfield was a guy who I thought would be a 5th-round pick in this draft. Another South Dakota State guy. I didn't like him as much as McCormick, but he was good, very interesting, very appealing. I think he's going to be a right tackle in this league, but could easily end up sliding somewhere else. He's going to offer some versatility. He's going to offer some promise. He might end up at left tackle if maybe we're done with Forsyth. I'm not sure what the plan is there. But Greenfield, I think, is a good fit for this new offense. So I'm liking what I'm seeing there with that particular pickup. And the fact that we gave him so much money tells me there's a certain level of commitment. And then we got Easton Gibbs, linebacker from Wyoming, and Mike Nowitzki from Kansas, offensive lineman. I think he was a center. I don't know anything about those 2. But it's a pretty good set of initial UDFAs. Like, there are guys that I know, guys who I expected to be drafted, guys who I think have a good chance of making this team, or at the very least, making the practice squad. So, pretty good start to UDFA. I don't know how much more we're going to do. I assume a couple more guys get brought in, but you kind of have to wait out the guys who want guaranteed money if you want to take somebody with no strings attached. So maybe they're doing that. Maybe that's why they're okay doing a press conference in the middle of UDFA. But those are my initial thoughts on the first wave. And that probably concludes, at the very least, the vast majority of our business for the draft. We might do a little bit more tonight, but realistically, I think we're kind of waiting out the UDFAs that are ultimately going to sign for no guaranteed money, and that'll pretty much take us home. So I'm going to see you guys later. I'm going to go ahead and get off stream shortly here, and I'll get this video up, and we'll see what happens the rest of the day. But it was a pretty fun day overall. I know it wasn't everything that it could have been, and I know a lot of people are a little bit concerned. Well, concerned's not the right word because it was day 3 of the draft, but they're a little bit confused, and I can certainly understand some element of that. But I'm pretty chill right now. I'm pretty chill with the decisions this team is currently making. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks.